What we're going to show you today is talk about the Samsung Galaxy S2, a campaign that we did. This was the campaign we needed to do just before the most recent content you've seen coming out of Samsung really going after Apple, hitting hard. You've seen the commercials of the people waiting to get their iPhone, and everyone else says the Galaxy S2, and they're like, oh my God, what's that? And it's really beating up on that whole culture. So this was the campaign we needed to do before that. This was the campaign to really set and establish credibility for Samsung as a real product, as the Galaxy S2 is a real product that had real benefit, that real people actually wanted to use. And so we targeted specifically as a mobile entertainment platform. We really wanted to be the best mobile entertainment platform to create and to consume content as well. And so what we looked at doing is we knew content needed to be a part of this in a really exciting, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on here, but at the end of the day, we really needed to get into content in a way that made sense. We couldn't say, if Samsung just came out and said we're the best mobile entertainment platform, it wasn't going to work. So we had to find a way to bring it to life in a really credible and authentic way that people would actually believe. At which point this is the point where we started talking to Nancy and the collective to determine how their talent could help us with this.
And so what we came up with, so the challenge, as you saw on that first slide, was how could we portray Samsung as the best entertainment platform for consuming as well as creating content? So the first thought in our minds was, let's turn to a really influential filmmaker on the YouTube platform. So let's raise some hands. Does anybody know Freddie W? Really? Okay, well, that's why we're here. We're here to learn. So Freddie W is basically one of YouTube's heroes. He started the channel about 1.5 years ago and has risen to one of the top 5 professional content creators on YouTube. So a pretty big accomplishment. For those of you who you'll see the video in a minute, but basically he is the Michael Bay of YouTube. So he loves big adventure stuff, lots of special effects, likes to blow things up, and has amassed a following of over 3 million subscribers. He has a tremendous thought leadership behind him. He's very influential. You know, you see his clout score there, and his videos literally do over 6 million every week.
And just to frame it, this is the way we looked at it at the agency. When we pitched internally to Samsung, actually, can we go back to that slide? When we pitched it to Samsung, this is the way we presented Freddie and the reason why we should work with him. There's some other data points in here that we use that are not covered here. We were privy to some alpha data that analyzes YouTube creators, and we knew that his influence was very high. There was a very high level of engagement. So we knew that if he produced some content, we would get a lot more earned media out of it, and that was very important to us. But this is the way we pitched it internally, because the same reaction you guys had with the limited hands coming up, obviously the Samsung client looked at us, even our brand teams looked at us and said, I've never heard of them. And that's one of the major challenges we face at an agency when we come up with really good ideas and we're bringing content to the brands. They go, I've never heard of it. And that's the #1 stumbling block. They never heard of it. That means it's a risk. They're worried and they have to cover their ass. So we tried to present it this way to protect it.
So what you see here, these are just a couple of outtakes from the video, which you'll see in a minute. But you'll see like it plays very well on the small screen. And just to give you a little bit of backstory, the video that we created was actually something that Freddie Wong, who is the face of the channel, and his producing partner, Brandon Lash, actually had kind of on the shelf for a long time. They knew that they do a lot in the video game space, and they knew that they needed something really lightweight, a camera, to really pull off this video concept that they wanted. So when we paired them with Samsung, they thought, this is a great way for us to actually execute on our vision of a video that they originally were calling Video Game Your Way to Work.
And hold on, before you show it. 2 things to keep in mind. One was the way we integrated the Samsung Galaxy S2 was parts of the video are shot with the S2 because we wanted to demonstrate its capabilities. We don't tell you which parts are shot with the S2, so it's up to you guys to figure out which ones are actually shot with the S2. And for those of you that are gamers, this is what made the video very catchy, was it calls upon all these different games in it, so you might recognize a lot of those. So we also put out that challenge there to name the games that you could see in it as well. So here you go, let's take a look.
Here's the video. Oops.
that's where you really get the little note. That's all that everyone really saw was just that little note. And then within the comments, which we'll get into here, there were an unbelievable number of comments talking about the Galaxy S2, going, wait, which parts were done with it? How did they do it? I never knew it shot so well. Like, it just kept going on and on, and that's all we needed to do.
So we'll take you through some of the key points of the actual campaign. So, what we've been hearing from almost everybody here is you need that combination of paid, owned, and earned. So, what you saw here is we collaborated with YouTube. The first part of the collaboration was that we actually did a homepage takeover that utilized the content that we created. So it was really important that we windowed the content release. So Freddie happens to publish every Saturday. So part of the overall strategy was how can we build excitement for the content? Because as you saw, the content's very gamer-centric, and the phone is for anybody who's an early adopter. So what we did at the Collective Digital Studio is we actually started with a PR campaign. So we had Freddie and Brandon on the Jimmy Kimmel Show, just to kind of seed out there that they are these filmmakers on YouTube that are doing better than a lot of the television shows that you see on network. And then we actually started to roll out the campaign with the entertaining video, and then with a follow-up the following Saturday of the content showcased in the homepage masthead ad. And then what we also did to drive even more engagement and tune-in is that we tapped Freddie's network of blog sites that he works with. So everyone from Kotaku to CelebBuzz, BuzzNet, so all of those types of content was seeded out in his blog network. And then he also drove tune-in via Twitter and Facebook. Another thing that we wanted to do with this campaign is actually, drive to the owned media. So Samsung created a microsite, and another way that we thought would be clever to drive to the site was to have Freddie actually curate a suite of apps.
Yeah, this was part of a strategy that we had of getting influencers in to curate apps for the phone to really highlight, again, its capabilities as a mobile entertainment platform. So it was a logical fit to not only have Freddie create the content using the phone, but then also get in here and pick certain apps that would be appropriate for him.
And so, you actually see Freddie's own quotes about the YouTube app.
Mm-hmm.
It's really great for cat videos. And then in addition to the Freddie W-centric part of the campaign, we also worked with Deep Focus, who is Samsung's social media agency, and created an app for Facebook, which was called the App Predictor. And so what we did is we also engaged a couple more talents that kind of fit with the thematics of the App Predictor. So we had somebody from the travel and leisure area, which was a chef called Danny Boom. We had Freddie, who was sort of the beacon for gaming and technology. We had Toby Turner, another prominent YouTuber who was associated with cinema fans. And then we had Pains of Being Pure at Heart associated with music. Another thing that was key to the partnership was that when Digitas was concepting this, they came to Collective Digital Studio and said, well, which is really the best talent? So our company at its core is a talent management firm. We represent everyone from Linkin Park, Enrique Iglesias, Martin Lawrence, to Freddie, Annoying Orange.
We wanted Enrique. We really did.
Rhett and Link, as Kevin was like basically doing an ad for the Collective. And then, really the way that we measured success was on a couple of different fronts. So first off, what was the engagement with the actual branded video? So as you see here, in the first month, it did close to 10 million video views. And, in the first week, without that masthead ad to help drive views, it did, close to 6 million video views. And a couple of the other stats there that are really impressive, I don't know if you guys can all read them, but 112,000 people commented on the video. And we'll show you in a minute some of the comments that you saw. So that's just an incredible amount of engagement with the actual content and with the brand.
It actually started performing so well, we pulled back dollars out of running the ad in video ad units because we didn't need to. And we used that to promote traffic to the site itself. We actually moved dollars.
And then, just to give you some of the accolades on YouTube. So even though he's sort of in the gaming space, It was the #1 entertainment video for the month of September. It reached, it was, favorited, #3 favorited, and, a couple of other key metrics that we, did deliver on here are that 22% of the overall viewers came on a mobile device. So, it really did showcase, those are the people that bought the Samsung as well as people just enjoying the content on their phones, that it was a great piece of content. On the social media side, as Shelley just said, we were really trying to go after the Apple market share. So we were able to increase share of voice over Apple on Facebook by 7%, and taking away some of their market share. And in the first couple of days that the actual app Predictor was up and running, we sold out of the cases, or people opted in for all the cases. And then here's some of the feedback, as Paul said. So, I mean, the number one up there is like literally people were going to buy the phone. So what you're going to do, you can do all that with the Samsung phone. So people really were like looking at Samsung as kind of the hero of the video, and and wanting to go and buy that phone so they could create that kind of video on their own.
Can you tell which one was Samsung's favorite? Leave it up to you.
And then, the last piece of the campaign was that, this community also saw it as a success. So in terms of virality, we were ranked #1 for September for the week that it premiered.
And that's Visible Measures.
Visible Measures
chart.
on Ad Age, followed closely by the Chuck Testa video that Kevin was talking about. And we also were able, we cannot attribute all of this, but we spoke with our client at Samsung, and definitely we were able to achieve what we did with the brand and bumping Apple kind of out of the first place marketplace during that window of September, October.